The keys to my first house felt heavier than they should have. Maybe because they cost $178,000. Maybe because when I unlocked the door at 1:23 p.m. on a Thursday, I heard children laughing inside. 2 hours into homeownership, already a problem. I'd closed that morning at 11:47 a.m., signed 93 pages, transferred every dollar I had, walked out with a deed and a dream. The dream lasted until I pushed open my front door. Family in my living room. Not ghosts. Not squatters I could call the cops on immediately. A whole family. With furniture and kids. And a TV playing cartoons. They looked up, confused, then panicked. Man stood fast, mid-30s, defensive stance. Positioned between me and his family. Woman grabbed 2 kids. Boy, maybe 9. Girl, younger, clutching a stuffed rabbit like it was a life preserver. I held up the keys. Let them see. Let them understand. Man's face shifted. Confusion to recognition to anger. I pulled out my phone, showed the deed. My name. Today's date. This address. His jaw clenched. Woman's eyes filled with tears. Man finally spoke, voice shaking. I'm David. This is my wife, Jennifer. These are our kids. Like introductions would help. He explained fast. They'd been renting this house for 14 months. Owner was his uncle, Rick. Lived in California. They paid rent every month. On time. Never missed. Then I showed up. Jennifer added they were already moving. This weekend, Saturday, truck reserved. New apartment across town, just needed until Sunday. 6 p.m., they'd be gone. I looked around, boxes against the wall, half-packed. Kids' drawings taped everywhere, family photos on the mantle, furniture that looked lived in. This wasn't a quick squat. This was a home. Their home for over a year. My home as of 4 hours ago. I nodded once. Sunday, 6 p.m., David exhaled. Relief. Thanked me. Multiple times. Jennifer wiped her eyes. The little girl just stared at me. Rabbit clutched tight. I walked out. Got in my car. Drove 3 blocks. Pulled over. Something felt wrong. Not guilt. Not yet. Instinct. Called Patricia Chen, my real estate attorney. The one who'd handled the closing. Explained everything. Family inside. Claim they've been renting. Say they're moving this weekend. 4 seconds of silence. Then, they're lying. How do you? Because I've been doing property law for 30 years and I've seen this exact play 100 times. Family claims they're moving, buys time, establishes residency, makes your life hell. But what if they're actually, do you want to risk $178,000 on what if? No. She gave instructions. Document everything. Photos with timestamps. Don't leave the property empty. If they're still there Sunday, file for eviction Monday. I asked about timeline. 30 to 60 days. Maybe more with kids involved. Courts moved slowly. That meant no rental income. Mortgage due in 3 weeks. Property taxes. Insurance. Utilities bleeding money. Hung up. Opened my banking app. 847.23 in checking. Mortgage payment, $2,000 due in 23 days. I did the math. It was not encouraging. Friday morning, 6:34 a.m., drove back to the house. Needed to see if they were actually packing. David's car in the driveway. Lights on, curtains drawn, parked across the street. Watched for 20 minutes. No movement. No boxes being loaded. Nothing. Walked up. Knocked. David answered. Hair wet from shower. Annoyed expression. Just checking in. Sunday move. Still on track? Yeah, we're packing today. Everything's fine. I looked past him into the living room. Same boxes, same positions, same TV on the same stand. Kids' toys scattered on the floor. Nothing had moved since yesterday. Nothing was packed. Great. See you Sunday. His face relaxed. Thought I believed him. I drove to a hardware store, bought 4 deadbolts. 127, then called Brenda. Property manager. No nonsense. Had handled rentals for 20 years. Need a tenant. Immediately. She laughed. Immediately means 3 weeks minimum in this market. I need someone Monday. She stopped laughing. You serious? Dead serious. Pause. Typing sounds. I have a couple. Pre-approved last week. Looking for 6-month lease. Could move fast if property's ready. It'll be ready Monday. How can you guarantee that? Because it's mine, and it'll be vacant. She hesitated. I need proof. Photos showing empty rooms. Can't sign a lease with squatters inside. My stomach dropped. No lease meant no deposit, no first month rent, no $3,700 to cover the mortgage. When do you need proof? Once it's vacant, not before. Hung up, stared at my phone. $847 in checking. $2,000 mortgage due in 22 days. Called Marcus. Friend since college. Most reliable person I knew. Hey man, weird question. Can I borrow $1,500? Silence. You just bought a house. Yeah, that's why I need $1,500. He laughed. What happened? Explained the situation. Family squatting, legal process, money bleeding. I'll Venmo it over. Pay me back when you can. Relief, temporary, fragile. Saturday morning, 7:15 a.m. Returned to the property with the new deadbolts. Nobody answered when I knocked. Car still there, curtains closed. I owned this house. Had the deed. Had the right. Changed all the locks anyway. Front door, back door, side gate, garage. Posted signs everywhere. Private property, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted, took photos, timestamps visible, left by 8:30 a.m. Texted David, locks changed for security, Sunday 6 p.m. deadline, leave keys inside, no response. Sunday 5:47 p.m. Drove to the house. David's car and driveway, lights on, parked across the street. Waited. 6 p.m. came and went. No movement. 6:15 p.m. Walked to the door, knocked. Waited. Knocked again. Door opened. David standing there. Different energy. No fear. Confidence. We're not leaving. I waited. He continued. They'd talked to a lawyer. Had rights. 14 months of paying rent meant legal protection. Couldn't be evicted without proper court process. That took months. So they were staying. Jennifer appeared behind him. Arms crossed. Small smile. They'd found an angle. Thought they had leverage. I nodded slowly, turned, walked away. David watched from the window, smiling. Thought he'd won. Sunday night, 8:34 p.m., called Patricia. They refused to leave. Claim tenant rights. Say they have legal representation. Do they have a lease with you? No. Did they pay you rent? No. They say they paid their uncle. Then they're not your tenants, but they'll fight. File motions. Drag it out. She paused. This is going to cost money. How much? Emergency eviction filing. $2,500 retainer. Court costs. Process server. Maybe $3,000 total. I checked my account. Marcus's loan had cleared. $2,847 total. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford not to. File it. I'll have it done by Monday morning. Hearing within 7 days. Hung up. Transferred $2,500 to Patricia's office. New balance, $0. Mortgage due in 20 days. Monday morning, 9:47 a.m. Patricia called. Emergency hearing scheduled. Thursday at 2 p.m. Also mentioned something else. David and Jennifer had legal aid representation. Thomas Walker. Young attorney. Idealistic. Filed a counter motion claiming I'd illegally changed locks with them inside. Harassment. Attempted illegal eviction. They wanted a restraining order. 2 weeks. Keeping me away from the property. 2 weeks meant missing the mortgage. Losing rental income. Potentially losing everything. Patricia said not to worry. Judge would see through it. But I needed documentation. Everything. Spent Monday organizing. Photos. Texts. Timeline. Deed. Closing documents. Everything in a folder. Tuesday morning. Decided to do something I'd been avoiding. Researched the family's story. Found the property records. Previous owner, Richard Chen. Listed address in Sacramento. Searched online. Found Rick's LinkedIn. Last activity 8 months ago. Exploring new opportunities in Vegas. Living the dream. Living the dream while his nephew's family paid rent on a house he'd lost. Dug deeper. Mortgage records. Public filings. Rick stopped paying 18 months ago. Bank foreclosed 12 months ago. Property sat empty for 6 months before auction. David and Jennifer had been paying rent to Rick's account the whole time, thinking they were covered. Safe. Legal? They weren't. Rick took their money and disappeared to Vegas. Probably gambled it all away. They were victims. Just not my victims. Tuesday afternoon. Drove past the property. Older woman outside, watering roses, 70s. Polish accent visible even from her garden decorations. I stopped. Got out. Excuse me. Do you know the family at that house? She looked up, studied me. You're the new owner. Not a question, a statement. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Kowalski. She set down her watering can. That family, David and Jennifer, good people, quiet, kids are sweet, no trouble. Did you know about the foreclosure? She made a face. Rick was an idiot, gambler, always at the casinos, lost everything. Those kids had no idea he stopped paying the mortgage. They sent him rent money every month. $1,200, on time. He just kept taking it. Where's Rick now? Vegas, or Mexico. Who knows? He disappeared 6 months ago. Left them in that house thinking everything was fine. I thanked her. Got back in my car. Sat there. David and Jennifer weren't scammers. They were victims of Rick's gambling problem. Paid rent faithfully for over a year. Uncle just pocketed it and vanished. Didn't change the law. Didn't change the deed. Didn't change my mortgage payment. But it changed how I felt standing there. Thursday, 2 p.m. Courthouse. Small hearing room. Judge behind bench. Patricia next to me. Thomas Walker next to David and Jennifer. Kids at their grandmother's house. Judge reviewed everything. My deed. Their counter motion. Timeline. Documentation. Asked Thomas what grounds his clients had for staying. He cited tenant laws. 14 months residency. Good faith rent payments. Children involved. Hardship. Judge asked if they had a lease with me. No. If they'd paid me rent? No. If they had written permission from me? No. Judge looked at David and Jennifer directly. Mr. Chen, Mrs. Chen, explain your situation. David stood. Voice steady but tired. Explained about Uncle Rick. The rental arrangement. The monthly payments. $1,200. Every month. Never late. Then Rick disappeared. They kept paying. Kept living there. Thought everything was fine until I showed up. Jennifer added they'd tried to leave when I asked. Couldn't find affordable housing. Needed more time. Judge listened. Patient. Sympathetic even. Then asked why they refused to leave when I requested. David said they talked to legal aid. Thought they had tenant protection. Thought they could stay. Judge nodded. Understanding. Then ruled. Clear language. No lease with current owner. No rent paid to current owner. No legal basis to remain. Ordered them to vacate within 7 days. Sheriff's Department would supervise if necessary. Denied the restraining order. Dismissed the counter motion. Case closed. Thomas tried to file an appeal. Judge shut it down. 7 days. David and Jennifer walked out. She was crying. He looked defeated. Angry. I didn't feel victorious. Just tired. Week 3. Thursday morning. 8 a.m. Sheriff's Department. 2 deputies. Moving supervision. I arrived at 8:12 a.m. U-Haul already in the driveway. Borrowed truck. Dented. Old. Deputies knocked. David answered. Resigned expression. They had 4 hours to load everything. Stood in the driveway, watching. David and Jennifer moved furniture, boxes, kids' belongings, everything they owned. Emma came out carrying her stuffed rabbit. Saw me, stopped. Just stared. Jennifer called her. She turned away, got in the truck. By 11:47 a.m., they were done. Exactly 12 hours after I'd closed on the house 3 weeks ago. David handed me the keys. Wouldn't look at me. Jennifer stopped. Made eye contact. We paid rent for 14 months. $1,200 every month. $16,800. To Rick. Your seller got that money from the foreclosure sale. The bank got paid. Rick got paid. You got a house under market value. We got evicted. She walked away. I stood there. Keys in my hand. House finally empty. Couldn't argue with her math. She was right. Rick stole from them. Bank foreclosed. I bought cheap. System worked for everyone except them. Called Brenda. Sent vacant property photos. She processed the lease. New tenants Monday, professional couple, no kids, $1,850 monthly. Everything legal. Everything by the book. Everything hollow. Went inside, empty rooms, clean. They'd left it in perfect condition, sat on the floor, living room where I'd first seen them. Thought about Uncle Rick in Vegas, about 14 months of rent payments, about Emma's rabbit, about Jennifer's math, about my bank account, $0, mortgage due in 6 days. But rental income starting Monday, smart business, legal process, necessary boundaries, kept repeating that. Wasn't sure when I'd started lying to myself. Monday morning, 8:47 a.m., Mark and Lisa arrived. Professional couple, both teachers, excited about the house. I didn't tell them about Emma's rabbit, just handed them the keys. They had no idea 3 weeks ago a family was evicted from these rooms. Better that way. Week 4 started with a text from Lou. Lou, guy in a Honda's been driving by slow. 3rd time today. You know him? Pulled up my Ring camera footage. Silver Honda, older model. Circled the block twice yesterday. Once this morning. Paused the video. Zoomed in on the license plate. Ran it through a free lookup site. Registered to David Chen. He was watching the house. Told Lou to let me know if he showed up again. Week 5, David escalated. Not texts this time, physical mail, envelope with no return address, handwritten. Inside, copies of his rent receipts, all 14 months. Each one stamped, paid. With a note, you got this house for $178K. We paid Rick $16,800 in rent. Where did that money go? Good question, called Patricia. David's asking where his rent money went. To Rick, who pocketed it. Can we trace it? We could. Would cost money, and it wouldn't change anything legally. But it would prove Rick stole from them. We already know that. Question is, what do you want to do about it? I thought about it. Find Rick. Week 6, I hired a skip tracer. Cost $300. Guy named Tony, former repo man. Give me 3 days. Took him 2. Tony called back with an address. Richard Chen, living in North Las Vegas, apartment complex off Boulder Highway. Rents $1,200 monthly. How'd you confirm it? Checked utility records, mail forwarding. Guy's not even hiding. Send me everything. He emailed me a file. Rick's new address, phone number, even his Facebook profile link. I opened Facebook. Rick's profile was public. Recent posts from casinos, photos at the Bellagio, Caesars, Red Rock, holding drinks, smiling. Caption on one. Living my best life, easy money. Another. Real estate game too easy. Buy low, sell never. Posted 3 days ago. Easy money. From his nephew's rent payments. I screenshot everything, made a folder. Rick Chen, evidence. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have. Drove to North Las Vegas, 6 hours. Left at 5 a.m. Saturday, arrived by noon. Found Rick's apartment complex. 3rd floor unit. Shabby building. His Honda wasn't there. Waited across the street at a Starbucks. Watching. 2:47 p.m. Silver Honda pulled in. But it wasn't Rick driving. It was David. He got out. Looked up at the 3rd floor. Stood there for 3 minutes. Didn't go up. Didn't knock. Just stared. Then got back in his car and drove away. I sat there processing. David had found Rick too, was tracking him. Went to Rick's door anyway, knocked. No answer. Neighbor came out, woman in her 60s, smoking. You looking for Rick? Yeah. He's not here much, mostly at the casinos. He ever mention family? She laughed. Sharp. Honey, Rick doesn't mention anything real. Just talks about his next big win. Drove back to California. David was following Rick. I was following Rick. Rick was living off stolen money. And none of it changed anything. Week 7 brought the grocery store. Different store than before, just bad luck. Jennifer pushing a cart. Emma beside her. Bargain shopping. Coupons. Dented cans. Emma saw me first. Didn't hide. Just stopped. Looked. Still had the rabbit. Jennifer turned. Saw me. Face went blank. We stood there. 5 seconds. She didn't look angry. Just exhausted. I nodded. She nodded back. Guided Emma past me, down the aisle. Away. I stood there holding coffee, watching them leave. Thought about David at Rick's apartment, standing in the parking lot, staring up. Both of us tracking the same ghost. Week 8, Patricia called. Legal aid filed an appeal. Unjust enrichment. They want the $16,800 back. On what grounds? That you profited from Rick's fraud. Filing a response cost $1,200. But I also made copies of everything. Rick's Facebook, Tony's report, the Vegas address. Mailed it to David. No note, just evidence. Your uncle's in Vegas, apartment 340. Here's proof he stole from you. Week 9, Mark called. Random question. Did you renovate before we moved in? Just basic repairs. Why? Lisa found something, back of the bedroom closet. A growth chart. Pencil marks on the wall. Names. Emma, Lucas. I was quiet. Previous tenants? Mark asked. Yeah. Should we paint over it? Thought about Jennifer, about Emma asking about her house. Leave it. It's part of the house's history. Mark paused. You're sentimental for a landlord. I'm practical. Painting costs money. He laughed. Hung up. Sat there. Emma's growth chart. Still in the closet. Still measuring time that ended 3 months ago. Week 10, the envelope arrived. From David. Same handwriting. Inside, a cashier's check. $200. And a note. For the lawyer fees. I know what you did. Rick's landlord called the police. Said someone reported stolen rent money. They're investigating. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. David had figured it out. That I'd sent the evidence. He was paying me back. I didn't cash it. Put it in the drawer with his rent receipts. Week 11 brought a phone call. Unknown number. Las Vegas area code. Is this Mike Morrison? Yeah. Detective Sarah Vega, Las Vegas Metro. We've opened a fraud investigation on Richard Chen. Your name came up in some documents. Did you send a package to David Chen containing evidence? No comment. Mr. Morrison, I'm trying to build a case. Rick Chen defrauded multiple people. David Chen is one victim. What do you need? Testimony, if this goes to trial. I'll think about it. She gave me her number. Week 12, Lou texted. Lou, your Honda guy's back, sitting across the street. Went outside, walked over. David saw me coming, rolled down his window. We looked at each other. Thank you, he said quietly. For the Rick thing, the police thing. You already sent the check. That was for the lawyer. This is for the other thing. Rick stole from you. Someone should know. Yeah. Silence. We're moving, he said. 2 hours away, cheaper. Jennifer got a job there, night shift. Emma okay? She's 8. She asks about the house. I tell her it wasn't ours. She doesn't understand. I'm sorry. I know. He looked at the house, at Mark and Lisa's cars. They seem nice, your tenants. They are. Good. He started his car. Take care of it. The house. It was a good house. I will. He drove away. I stood there in the street. David and Jennifer moving 2 hours away. Emma asking about her house. Jennifer working nights. Rick under investigation. Maybe charged. Maybe. Mark and Lisa inside. Happy. Safe. Unaware of Emma's growth chart in the closet. I'd bought legal, evicted legal, won legal, also tipped the police, paid for evidence, sent David proof. Still couldn't undo what happened. But at least Rick wouldn't get away clean. That was something. Not enough, but something. 6 months into homeownership and I'd become boring. Routine landlord stuff. Cash rent checks. Watch my account grow. Mark and Lisa renewed their lease. I raised rent to $1,950. Then the email showed up again. Same auction site. New listings. Last one caught my eye. 4-bedroom, better neighborhood. Listed at $212,000. Zillow estimated $260,000. Clicked for photos. Last photo, exterior. Toys in the yard. Basketball. Skateboard. My stomach tightened. But this time, I read the fine print first. Current occupancy situation to be resolved by buyer. People inside. Last time, that was a surprise. This time, I knew. Different approach. Monday morning, 6:34 a.m. Drove to the property, parked across the street, waited. 6:47 a.m. Woman came out, early 30s, scrubs, nurse, got in her car, older Honda, student driver sticker, drove away. 7:42 a.m. Boy came out, maybe 10, backpack, moved slowly, carefully, like the world was too loud. Neighbor woman walked him to the bus stop, stood with him, patient. Bus arrived. Tyler hesitated at the steps, counting silently. 1, 2, 3. Climbed on. Slow. I watched through the bus windows. Tyler sat down, backpack on his lap, hands gripping the straps. Then a kid behind him yelled something, laughing with friends. Tyler's whole body went rigid. Hands flew to his ears, head down. The neighbor lady was still at the curb. She saw it too. Knocked on the bus door. Driver opened it. She leaned in. Talked to Tyler through the seats. Couldn't hear what she said. Whatever it was worked. Tyler's hands came down. Slowly. Bus pulled away. Tyler's face pressed against the window. Still tense. Neighbor lady stood there watching until the bus turned the corner. Then walked back to her house. Shoulders tired. I sat in my car thinking about that. A 10-year-old who needed someone to walk him to the bus. Who needed that same someone to intervene when things went wrong. Who'd need it again tomorrow. And the day after. Not squatters, not scammers. Single mom. Special needs kid. Working nurse. Neighbor helping. Same as David and Jennifer. Different details, same pattern. Made my offer that afternoon. $205,000. But added something new. Buyer to hire professional relocation services for current occupants. Cost $500, worth it. Before signing anything, I went back Tuesday morning. Same time. Same spot. Wanted to see if Monday's bus scene was a one-time thing. 7:38 a.m. Tyler came out. Same neighbor lady. Mrs. Chen, I'd learn later. Same slow walk to the bus stop. This time I got out of my car. Walked over. Excuse me. I'm looking at buying the house across the street. Just doing some research on the neighborhood. Mrs. Chen looked at me carefully. Research? Yeah, schools mostly. Seems like a good area. It is, if you have the right support. Right support? She looked at Tyler waiting at the curb. Rachel works nights, 12-hour shifts. She's a good mother, but she can't be awake for the bus every morning after working all night. So you help. Rachel helped me when my husband had his stroke. Came over after her shift, checked his vitals, stayed while I slept. Didn't ask for anything. How long have you been walking Tyler to the bus? 2 years, since the school placement finally came through. Special ed program. Took forever to get him in. Bus arrived. Same routine. Tyler counted the steps. Climbed on. Mrs. Chen waited until the bus turned the corner. You thinking of buying the house? She asked. Already made an offer. Rachel, no. She will soon. Mrs. Chen looked at me directly. She's a good tenant. Keeps the place nice. Pays on time. Tyler's a good kid. Just needs routine. I appreciate the information. That house gets sold to someone who evicts them. Tyler loses his school placement. Starts over somewhere else. Could take a year to get into another program. Maybe more. She walked back to her house. Didn't say goodbye, just left me standing there with that information. Patricia connected me with Karen Williams, relocation specialist. I'll handle first contact, 30-day notice, resources, cash for keys if they want. Karen called Friday, got details. Rachel Martinez. Night shift nurse. Son Tyler, age 10. Been renting 3 years at $1,400 monthly. Previous owner James stopped paying mortgage. Never told Rachel. She kept paying him. Same betrayal as Rick and David. Karen offered $2,000 cash for keys. Rachel said no. Asked to meet me. Didn't want a meeting. Wanted to avoid what happened with David and Jennifer. But before agreeing, I did something else. Thursday night, 2:47 a.m., drove to the property, parked across the street, lights off. 3:18 a.m., Rachel's Honda pulled in. She sat in the car for 3 minutes. Engine off. Got out slow. Scrubs wrinkled. Carrying groceries. Walked to the door, fumbled with keys, dropped them. Bent down, stayed bent. Like standing back up took effort. Finally got inside, lights on upstairs. 10 minutes later, lights off. 3:30 a.m. home. Tyler's bus at 7:40 a.m. 4 hours of sleep, then up for his routine, breakfast, medication, whatever he needed. Mrs. Chen walking him while Rachel slept 1 more hour. 6 days a week. For 3 years. And James never told her he'd stopped paying the mortgage. Saturday, 3 p.m. Karen insisted on the meeting. I drove to the property, parked across the street. Tyler in the front yard, sitting on grass, hands over ears. Rocking. Rachel came out, knelt beside him. Talking quietly. Not touching. Minutes passed. Rocking slowed. Hands down. Rachel walked him inside. Slow. Patient. Autism. Moving would disrupt everything. Thought about Emma hiding. Made a decision right there. Called Karen. What's market rent? $2,100. Offer Rachel $1,600. 1-year lease. She stays. That's $500 below market. Make it happen. Karen called Rachel that evening. Monday morning, Rachel called me directly. Why below market? Your son needs stability. This district has his special ed program. How do you know about Tyler? I saw him Saturday, in the front yard. Saw you help him. Silence. $1,600. 1 year. You maintain the property. We're good. When can I sign? Karen handled paperwork. Rachel signed Thursday. First month plus deposit, $3,200. Friday afternoon. Unknown number called. Is this the new owner of 847 Maple Street? Who's asking? James Whitman. I used to own that property. The landlord who'd stolen Rachel's rent. Who'd let the house go to foreclosure while collecting her checks. What do you want? I want to know why you're charging my tenant below market rent. Your tenant? You lost the house. Rachel called me. Said you're letting her stay for $1,600. Market's $2,100. That's between me and Rachel. You're setting a bad precedent. Makes the rest of us look greedy. The rest of you are greedy. You collected her rent for 6 months after you stopped paying the mortgage. That's not how it worked. That's exactly how it worked. She paid you. You didn't pay the bank. You pocketed the difference. I had expenses. So did she. And a kid with special needs. And a night shift job. And a landlord who lied to her. Silence. You don't understand the real estate business, James said. I understand fraud. She's got receipts for every payment. How many of those did you report as income? More silence. Don't call this number again, I said. Hung up. Stood there angry for 10 minutes. Then realized something. James called because Rachel had called him. Not to complain. Just to tell him she was staying. That meant something. Drove to the property Friday evening. Met Rachel briefly. Tyler was at school. House was immaculate. Better maintained than most rentals I'd seen. Rachel was professional. Grateful, but not effusive. Thank you for not making us move. You've taken care of the place. Makes sense to keep a good tenant. She smiled. Small. That's a business answer. It's the true answer. She reached into her bag, pulled out a folded piece of paper. Tyler made this when I told him we weren't moving. Unfolded it carefully. A drawing. Crayon. House with a blue door. 2 stick figures in front. One tall, one small. Both smiling. He doesn't draw people usually. Too hard to get the proportions right. Makes him anxious. I looked at the drawing. Carefully done. Precise. He made an exception, Rachel said, because he was happy. I can't take this. You have to. He made it for you. Spent 2 hours on it. If you don't take it, I have to explain why. That'll upset him. I took the drawing. Tell him thank you. Tell him yourself sometime. He doesn't talk much, but he listens. Left with the drawing in my car. Drove home. Stopped at Target. Bought a frame. $12. Hung it in my home office. Right next to my lease agreements. Tyler's drawing. House with blue door. 2 stick figures. Reminder that business decisions affect real people. That profit margins have faces. That $1,600 a month bought more than rental income. No court, no eviction, no lawyers, just a choice. Made early, based on what I'd learned. 2 months later, Patricia called. Below market rent, again. Strategic pricing. That's not what Mark and Lisa pay. Different situations. You're setting precedent. I'm building a portfolio, 2 properties, both profitable. She sighed. Fair enough. Saturday afternoon, Target run. Walking past the cereal aisle when I saw them. Jennifer, Emma. Same store, different section this time. Emma saw me first. Didn't hide. Just stopped pushing the cart. Looked. Still had the rabbit. Bigger now, worn. Jennifer turned. Saw me. Her face changed. Not anger, not fear, just recognition. We looked at each other. 5 seconds. 10. I nodded. Small. She nodded back. Smaller. Then guided Emma past me. No words, no scene, just 2 people who'd been on opposite sides of a legal process. Went home. Thought about Emma not hiding this time. 3 families, 3 outcomes. David and Jennifer, evicted, displaced. Mark and Lisa, market rate, thriving. Rachel and Tyler, below market, stable, different choices, different results. Couldn't undo David and Jennifer, but already made different choices with Rachel. Checked my bank account that night. 2 rent payments, one $950 from Mark and Lisa, one $600 from Rachel. Total, $3,550 monthly. Profit after mortgages and expenses, $600. Could be $1,000 if I'd charged Rachel market rate, but $600 let me sleep. Marcus came over Sunday, brought beer. Heard you're the soft-touch landlord now. Heard you're still nosy, he laughed. Below market rent, second property. First time was David and Jennifer. Went badly. This time I learned. What did you learn? That legal and right aren't always the same thing. They're not always different either. True, Rachel's situation let me do both. Marcus raised his beer. To strategic pricing. To that. 3 months later, another auction email arrived. Foreclosure listing. Good neighborhood. Toys in the yard. Stared at it for 10 seconds. Closed it. Not because I couldn't do it. Because I'd learned what it cost. 2 properties. Both profitable. Both stable. Enough. 1 year in and the pattern was set. First of every month. Rent checks arrived. Mark and Lisa. Rachel. Both on time. Both reliable. Then the letter came. Physical mail. Handwritten address. No return address. Mike, I'm not writing to ask for anything. Just wanted you to know we're okay. Not great. But okay. We moved 2 hours away. Jennifer works 2 jobs now. Emma's in a different school. She asks about her house sometimes. I tell her it wasn't really ours. She doesn't understand yet. I'm sorry about the texts. You were legally right. I know that now. Do you ever think about us? David? I read it 3 times. Did I think about them? Yeah, I did. Emma asking about her house. 8 years old now. Old enough to remember. Not old enough to understand foreclosure. Just old enough to know someone took her home. Put the letter in a drawer. Didn't respond. 3 years later, things looked different. 4 properties now. Built slowly. Carefully. Never rushed into auctions without research. Never bought occupied properties without hiring Karen first. 2 properties at market rate. 2 below market. Monthly profit around $1,800. Not rich. Not struggling. Sustainable. Changed my approach entirely. Karen for every occupied property. Below market rent when it made sense. Cost more in lost profit. Saved more in lost sleep. Tuesday afternoon. Stopped for gas. Looked across the lot. Saw him. David. Different car. Older sedan. He was pumping gas. Hadn't seen me yet. He finished. Turned. Saw me. 3 years since the eviction. 1 year since his letter. He didn't look angry. Just looked. I nodded. Small. He nodded back. Smaller. Neither of us moved. Neither spoke. Just that moment of acknowledgement. Then he got in his car and drove away. We'd both moved on, but neither forgot. That evening, the auction email came again. Almost deleted it, but clicked anyway. Scrolled through listings. Then saw one that made me stop. House in California. Bakersfield. $425,000. Clicked for details. Owner. Richard Chen. Uncle Rick. Rick's house. Before Vegas. Before gambling away his nephew's rent money. Foreclosed. Bank owned. Available. I could buy it. Profit from Rick's failure. Poetic justice, probably. Stared at the listing for 10 minutes. Thought about David at the gas station. His nod. Thought about Emma asking about her house. Thought about what buying Rick's loss would make me. Closed the laptop. Some circles don't need closing. Rick lost his house. That was enough. Friday afternoon. Text from Mark. Lisa and I need to talk. Can we meet? My stomach dropped. Met them Saturday. They looked happy. We're moving out, Mark said. Bought a house. I tried to look pleased. Mostly felt tired. Congratulations. We wanted to thank you, Lisa added. You kept rent reasonable. That's how we saved for a down payment. I hadn't thought about it that way. You were good tenants. Seemed fair. Most landlords don't think like that, Mark said. That matters. They left. I'd lost money keeping their rent low. Probably $8,000 over 3 years. But they'd bought a house because of it. Somehow that felt like winning. Drove to the property later. My first house. Stood on the porch. Same keys from 4 years ago. Felt lighter now. Thought about everyone who'd touched this house. David and Jennifer. Gone 3 weeks after I bought it. Mark and Lisa. 3 years of stability. Moving to their own house. Future tenants. Their own story starting. I'd done everything legal. Evicted when necessary. Also hired Karen. Also offered below market rent sometimes. Built a portfolio. 4 properties. Modest success. Complicated feelings. Patricia called that evening. Mark and Lisa moving out? Yeah. Going to raise rent for the next tenant? Probably, unless they have a good reason not to. She laughed. You've gotten soft. I've gotten strategic. Good tenants are worth more than maximum profit. That's actually smart business. Hung up. Deleted the new auction email without opening. Didn't need another property. 4 was enough. Thought about David's letter. Do you ever think about us? Yeah, I did. Them moving 2 hours away. Jennifer working 2 jobs. Emma in a different school. All because Uncle Rick stole their rent. All because the bank foreclosed. All because I bought low. Legal. Proper. Also destructive. Also permanent. Thought about Rachel and Tyler. Still in their house. Same school. Same stability. All because I researched first. All because I chose $600 over $20. Also legal, also proper, also smart business with humanity. Both outcomes existed because of choices I made. I couldn't undo David and Jennifer, couldn't give Emma back her house, but I could make different choices going forward. Already had. For 3 years. Not perfect. Not redemption. Just better. Checked my bank account. 4 properties. Monthly profit, 1,826. Could be $2,400 if I maximized everything. Difference, 574 monthly. 6,888 yearly. The cost of not being Rick. Opened my desk drawer. David's letter still there. Do you ever think about us? Took it out. Read it one more time, then tore it in half. Not out of anger, out of closure. David was surviving, Rachel was thriving, Mark and Lisa were buying. All different outcomes. All because of different choices. I couldn't change what happened with David and Jennifer, but I'd changed what happened after. Put the torn letter in the trash. Opened my email. Another auction listing. Deleted it. 4 properties was enough. Rachel texted that evening. Tyler drew another picture. Want to see it? Sure. Photo came through. Crayon drawing. Same house. 3 stick figures this time. Tyler. Rachel. Me standing on the porch. He added you, Rachel wrote. Said you're part of the house now. Didn't know what to say to that. Frame it, she wrote. Like the first one. I will. Drove to Target. Bought another frame. $12. Hung it next to the first drawing. 2 houses, 2 families, 2 different approaches. Both legal, both profitable, both mine. Stood there looking at them. Tyler's drawings. Houses with blue doors. Stick figures smiling. Reminders that every property has people in it. That profit has a face. That legal doesn't always mean right. But sometimes you can be both. Patricia called next morning. Saw your books. You're leaving money on the table. I know. On purpose. Strategic pricing. You keep saying that. What's the strategy? Sleep at night. Keep good tenants. Don't become Rick. She was quiet. That's not a business strategy. It's mine. Hung up. 6 months later, got another letter. Same handwriting as David's, but different return address. Emma's handwriting. 8 years old. Dear Mr. Mike, my dad said you bought our house. I wanted to say it was a good house. I hope whoever lives there now likes it. I have a new room now. It's smaller, but it's okay. My rabbit still has the same name. Emma. Read it sitting at my desk. Tyler's drawings on the wall. Emma's letter in my hand. 2 families. 2 paths. One I evicted. One I kept. Couldn't undo the first. But I'd learned from it. Put Emma's letter in a new drawer. Not the trash. Not the old drawer. A new place for new perspective. That evening, the auction email came again. Opened it this time. Scrolled through. 3 foreclosures. All occupied. Could buy them. Profit from them. Build an empire. Could also hire Karen for each one. Research the families. Make choices. Not maximize. Optimize. Difference matters. Closed the laptop without bidding. 4 properties was still enough. Walked to my home office. Looked at the wall. 2 drawings from Tyler. 1 letter from Emma. 4 lease agreements. This was my business. Legal, profitable, complicated. Some families I saved, some I couldn't. But I tried. After the first one, I tried. That's more than Rick ever did. More than James did to Rachel. More than most landlords do. Not perfect. Not redemption. Just better. Turned off the light. Locked the office. Tomorrow, rent checks would arrive. Mark and Lisa's old unit had new tenants. Market rate this time. Rachel would text about Tyler. Patricia would call about my strategy. Marcus would ask if I'd gone soft. And I'd keep building. 4 properties. Maybe 5 eventually. Legal process, smart business, necessary boundaries. But with Karen on speed dial. With below market rent when it made sense. With drawings on my wall reminding me that profit has faces. This was the business I built. Not ruthless, not maximum, not Rick. Just enough. And enough let me sleep.